actually damage somebody's patella and tear some ligaments. We talked about ligaments too, right? So in class, we do not want you to crank the traction down as hard as your hand can go, because it is going to pull and pull and pull, and you can actually pop someone's leg out of socket. Okay? So we're not going to do that, right? Right?
Right.
Okay, everyone was watching. Don't put your worst enemy, secret competition in the traction splint and then crank it all the way up. That's okay. It's not what I want you to do.
I would never.
Okay? Go ahead and lay down.
Good call.
Alright, so we get on scene. I'm going to let you guys kind of talk through this one. So we get on scene, what's the first thing we do? We got our BSI, scene safety. Now, let's assume that Marion is the one who's going to, well, no, Marion's going to be my partner. I'm applying the traction splint. Wish Tara was here. She's not here yet. Alright, so in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and hold manual stabilization of the leg. I mean, with this, you're not pulling traction just yet. You're physically holding manual stabilization of the injured leg, okay? We're gonna do this leg.
Okay.
So I'm holding stabilization of the leg. This one has a more interactive role for the partner, okay? The partner is actually gonna check PMS, but since you're the one testing, you still need to tell your, are you recording? Okay. Since you're the one testing, you still need to tell your partner to do everything. They won't do anything by themselves, okay? So I'm holding manual stabilization. I would direct my partner to take pulse, motor, and sensory function.
Just in all four?
I would say take it bilaterally, just to make sure you have equal pulses and stuff like that.
Totally feel the pulses through the shoes.
Seriously?
Totally.
Great. Okay, excellent. So our partner is going to hold pulse, motor, and sensory function.
Alright, what are your toes? What toe am I touching? Yeah.
Make sure I'm not missing any steps. All right. Next, you're going to tell your partner to put on the ankle hitch. All right. This here is the ankle hitch. Okay. I'm going to demonstrate it, and then I'm going to give it to you and put it on.
Alright.
Okay. The ankle hitch goes like so, over top of the foot. Okay. You're not going to lift the leg like I just did, but you're going to put it over top of the foot and then Velcro it. And this is the part that's going to actually be pulling their leg. Okay. You direct your partner to put that on. Like I said, the assistant has a really interactive role for this one. Okay? So once the ankle hitch is on, the next thing the partner is going to do is they're going to pull manual traction, which means they're going to physically lift the leg, all right, and pull. Yes. Well, get comfortable. You're going to be there for a minute. All right. What I would recommend is to get on one knee and do it, because with an actual patient, once you start pulling traction, you don't let it go. Because remember, those bones are in there. Now you're seesawing them back and forth. All right? Keep traction, and you have to really pull. You're pulling against the quadriceps muscle. That's a strong muscle.
How should I pull it with this thing?
I think students were doing that last year, but the way I was taught was to grab the entire leg.
The whole,
Yeah, I'll double check with Tara when she gets here, because I know Virginia's funny about a couple of things. Virginia's not my first state, because you guys don't know. All right, so then we're gonna grab our traction splint, okay? We're gonna measure it. Would it make sense to measure it on the injured or uninjured leg?
Uninjured.
Why?
Because that's the normal.
Because that's the normal size of the leg, right? Okay, so you can relax for a second, because I'm gonna show you guys how this thing works. All right, so these are the straps that'll secure the leg to the actual splint, okay? Right here are these blue things. These are what you twist in order to change the length of the splint, okay? So you twist these to the neutral inline position, and then you can slide it shorter or longer depending on your patient's height. So if it were Ella, it would be medium sized. You're not that tall. You're pretty tall. All right. All right. So we're gonna come over. Oh, and then to lock them, you just twist them back to the position they were in. All right. I think some of these are like kind of ambidextrous. They can lock either to the left or to the right. All right. So I'm gonna come over to Samantha's uninjured side. My EMT walk.
Yeah.
All right. And you're gonna measure from the patient's ischium. Everyone point to your ischium, not the ilium, the ischium. From the patient's ischium down to their feet, maybe beyond about like a couple inches, maybe like 5 or 6 inches beyond. Okay. So about there. Okay. Now, pretending Marion had never let go of traction. All right. She never let go of traction, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
See it happen.
You're gonna have to lift the leg a little higher than that. Okay. Next, you're going to place this under the patient's ischium, underneath their butt bone. All right. That actually might be a little long. Are your legs the same length?
I don't know.
All right, that should be good. Okay. From here, you apply the ischial strap. Sorry. Which I just put on the wrong way. There we go. There we go. This isn't put on the thing the right way, but it's alright. We're gonna work with it. I think we didn't grab the broken traction splint, y'all. But it's alright.
You can grab the broken one.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll use this for now. Let's pretend like it's not broken, okay?
Okay.
So the ischial strap is supposed to go right up in this area. It's supposed to be attached to both sides of the splint. It's not. We're gonna grab a working splint in a minute. So the ischial strap is gonna attach right around here, and it's gonna sit kind of in the patient's hip, okay? And what that does is when you start to pull traction, it's pulling the leg this way, but in return, it's pushing up into the ischium, all right? When you crank it down, it needs to fit securely in this area, or else it's not gonna pull traction appropriately. Make sense? Okay, the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take this little hook here. Everybody see that? This hook is gonna hook onto, yeah, there you go. It's gonna hook onto the patient's ankle hitch, and you're gonna begin to crank mechanical traction. Okay? I would say still kind of hold the leg for the meantime.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so, yes.
Those up the straps, like we don't.
Yes, we are going to use those, but you crank the mechanical traction because at this entire time your partner is pulling as hard as they can like this. So you want to be able to help your partner out.
Yeah.
You crank mechanical traction and then you secure the rest of the leg to the traction splint.
Can this thing make you taller?
That's a good question. I've never tried it for that. It might. Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like it probably doesn't. If you were able to like extend your
I think Sam should try it.
Yeah. Sam Muzinski.
That one.
Oh, dude, how tall are you?
6'4".
How tall are you trying to make him, Samantha?
6'6".
Okay. Now, obviously we have a femur fracture. So are we gonna put this strip directly over top of where the break is? No. All right. So let's say the break was right around here. We're gonna place the strap just below that. Okay.
I can tell where the break is.
Hmm?
I can tell where exactly the break is.
You'll be able to see where the leg kind of went like that. Especially if it's a bad break, sometimes the bone will be poking through a little bit. Question.
Are we supposed to move the patient once they have that on?
We will talk about that. All right. So after you secure traction, you put the straps on. You need to readjust the ischial strap. Okay. That's a point on the sheet. You readjust the ischial strap to make sure that it's firmly kind of secured in the patient's hip area. All right. After that, can anybody guess what we're gonna do?
PMS.
PMS. Is that? Woo woo! All right. So after it's on, it's secured and everything. We're gonna recheck pulse, motor, and sensory function. Pulse, motor. You wiggle your toes. What's our rotation?
The big one.
Fantastic. Okay. Now, in the last part.
Verbalize how you secure it.
Thank you. In the very last part, you would verbalize how you would secure the patient to the backboard. You need to verbalize that you would secure the patient's torso and then the patient's splint to the backboard. Okay? Now, to answer your question, Kelly, how would we move a patient to the backboard after we have the traction splint on? So there's a couple ways you can do that. One of which is you could use a scoop stretcher. Another way, would you recommend log rolling a patient?
I wouldn't use a scoop stretcher because generally if you have enough force to break your femur, that could potentially spinal.
Very true. So how would we move our patient?
They shouldn't survive. If it's a spinal injury, y'all should only do back forward.
Wait, was this thing strapped on though?
Like how would
How do you get the
Do you guys like to see how you do it? Here, we can show them. One time.
The backboard?
Yeah.
Okay. a little bit too hard.
It was a little bit, but it's good now.
A little bit.
All right, so one person's gonna be in charge of holding or raising the board. That's literally their only job. Which side are we gonna roll on?
That way?
That side, the uneven side. So when we roll, they're gonna hold that leg perpendicular to the floor so that it doesn't go down or up because the bone edges are what? Sharp. Alright. Alright, so I need to people to assist me. You know, we roll. Somebody would be imaginarily holding the C-spine. Alright, and I'm gonna push the board. You should go on that side. So you can push the board. Alright. Heads count, imaginary head.
This one? Yep.
1, 2, 3. Heads count.
Sure my
1,
leg is
2,
not
3.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so then you see I still have to slide it up and down imaginarily to see it go down. Alright, so you see how it sticks off the board? Alright. What you can do is take 2 splints. Use lift your leg for me, and stick these underneath.
Are those little handle things for?
No.
I don't know. What is that?
Alright, ready? Down. Alright, and then you would secure that to the board by doing
The spider strap.
you would spider strap it to the board, but you also need to secure the leg to the board. I can't. So you use cravats to literally tie it in place. And then you would strap underneath up here and then on top down there. Make sense?
Wait, so are you saying strap the boards with the cravats to the backboard or strap? Okay.
You need to secure it to the backboard because you don't want it to bounce around and transfer. You still need to secure her to the backboard, so you're going to secure her, but then you're going to skip that part right there. And then you go back. Cool. Alright. That's it.
Cool. Already traction once we do it, but for our purposes, there's a little pin on the side of it right here. You simply pull that, and then you can pull this as far as you want to. Traction. Not a traction. Cool.